Welcome to CBTV. Next topic. Describe an occasion when you used a map. You should say when you used a map, where you were, why you used a paper map, and explain how you felt about the experience. Alright, so there was this one time I really had to rely on a paper map, and let me tell you, it was quite the adventure. This was almost 7 years ago when I was on a trip to some parts of Hanoi that I have never been to, you see. My phone died and man, it was one of those days when clock is just not on your side. The thing that I had no charger on me. So there I was in the heart of the old quarter, but it's mazed like strips. I needed to find my way to this famous cafe, known for its edge coffee, a place called Giảng Cafe. Luckily, I had this paper map that I picked up at the hotel, so I whipped it out and started to try and make heads or tail of it. There is something really exciting about navigating the old-fashioned way, trying to match the street name and landmarks. And let me tell you, reading a map is no piece of cake when you're used to just following a blue dot on your screen. But bit by bit, I started getting the hang of it, seeing my partial skills aren't all that bad. I was walking down this narrow street past all these shops and street food stalls. Eventually, after a few wrong turns and some friendly hugs from the locals, I found a cafe. It was tucked away in a small alley. I wasn't sure I was there at first, but then I saw a sign and I knew I had found it. Sitting down with a cup of egg coffee, after all the map reading and wondering was just so satisfying. I feel pretty proud of myself for not getting hopelessly lost. Part 3. 1. What do people usually do when they get lost? When people get lost, they often go into problem solving mode, right? It's like they suddenly detectives on their own case. Most whip out their phones and fire up a map app, trying to get their bearings. Others might go old school and actually ask passerby for directions, kind of a word of mouth GPS. And then there are those who prefer to wander around it, hoping to stumble upon something familiar. It's like they're on an unexpected adventure. 2. What are differences between paper and digital maps? Oh, paper and digital maps are worlds apart. Paper maps are like the classic novels of navigation. They don't need batteries or signal, but they can be a bit cumbersome to handle, especially when it's windy. Digital maps, on the other hand, are like smartphones of cartography. They're super convenient, often updated, and often come with extra features like traffic updates. But they can leave you high and dry in areas with poor cell service. It's a trade-off between reliability and convenience. 3. What do you think of in-car GPS navigation systems? In-car GPS systems, they're like godsend, especially for those who directionally challenged. It's like having a personal navigator sitting shotgun. You just bung in the address and off you go. Plus, they often give real-time traffic updates, which can be a lifesaver in avoiding jams. But sometimes they can be a bit too bossy, like take you to a wild goose chase with their shortest routes. So it's great, but not without its quirks. 4. What do people often do with a map? With a map, most people plot their journey kind of like planning a treasure hunt. They pinpoint their starting point, trace a route, and mark their destination. It's like drawing your own adventure story. I use maps for more educational purposes, like learning about different areas or geographical features. It's a way of traveling the world without leaving your couch. 5. Why do people prefer to use a paper map? Many prefer paper map because they offer a broad, wider view and a more tactile experience. It's like the differences between reading a book and scrolling through an e-reader. Plus, there's no worry about losing signal or running out of battery. For some, it's also about nostalgia, like a nod to the days of old school exploration. 6. How does learning to read a map help you learn about your country? Learning to read a map can open up a whole new world. It's not just about finding places, it's like unraveling the stories behind different regions. You get to understand geographical relationships like how river flow and city develop. It gives you a sense of scale and perspective, almost like you are zooming out to see how everything connects. It can foster a deeper appreciation of your country's landscape, history, and diversity.